Two breaking stories just shook up Browns Nation, and neither is about the 31-6 beatdown of the Dolphins. A win like that should have been a reason to celebrate, right? But that's not what stole the headlines. Instead, everyone's talking about someone who didn't play. And behind the scenes, a rookie is making so much noise he might force the front office into a move no one saw coming. These are the latest updates out of Cleveland, full of surprises, debates, and big decisions that could shift the season. And it all starts with Shedeur Sanders and a silence that spoke volumes. The Browns just smacked the Dolphins 31-6 in a game that looked like a throwback to old-school football. Dominant defense, ground and pound offense, and a whole lot of control. That win, Cleveland's biggest since 2023. But instead of celebrating the team's W or talking up their red-hot defense, the media found a way to once again circle back to Shedeur Sanders. Yup, a guy who hasn't even played a snap. Ever since Joe Flacco got shipped out, Shedeur's been riding shotgun as QB2, patiently waiting for his moment. And honestly, last Sunday felt like the perfect chance to finally toss the kid in there. Up 25 with 10 minutes left. Come on, let him cook a couple drives. But nope, Gabriel stayed under center, managed the clock, and the game faded out quietly. He finished with a safe 13 of 18 for 116 yards. Efficient? Sure. Electric? Not even close. A couple days later, Shedeur hopped on X and dropped what looked like a personal reflection more than anything. No bitterness, no shade, just faith. He posted, "The greatest lesson I've learned through it all is not to worry, but to lean on and trust God in every situation." It was a pretty heartfelt message about letting go of the stress and trusting that things will work out, even when the path isn't clear. Now, if you've followed the Sanders family at all, especially Primetime himself, Dayon, you know faith has always been front and center. This wasn't Shedeur waving the white flag. It was more like him saying, "I'm doing what I can and the rest, that's in God's hands." But then came Emmanuel Acho and his new show, Speakeasy, and man, if you were hoping for some thoughtful insight, keep hoping. When Shedeur's tweet got brought up, Acho didn't even read it. Literally said, "I'm not reading all that. Bro, it's your show. Do your job. If you're gonna give a take, at least read the material first, right?" Thankfully, Super Bowl champ James Jones was there to bring some sanity to the convo. He basically said what a lot of us were already thinking. Shedeur's just venting a little and recognizing the stuff he can't control. It's not about quitting, it's about patience. "He's not waving the white flag," Jones said. "He wants to play, but the decision ain't in his hands." Jones even threw in a little heat, calling out the Browns' decision to stick with a guy who, in his words, "Ain't nobody have better than me in college." He's got a point. Shedeur's proven himself in every chance he's had, from the college field to training camp. The fact that Cleveland felt comfortable moving on from both Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco says a lot about how much trust they've got in him. But while Shedeur keeps it classy and leans into his faith, Acho's trying to spin it like the kids checked out, without even giving his words a proper read. That's lazy, that's misleading, and that's just flat out wrong. And if that story caught you off guard, the next one's even more surprising. It just dropped and could shake up the Browns' entire backfield. Quinshon Judkins is making so much noise in Cleveland's backfield that he might actually push the Browns into doing something most folks didn't see coming. A mid-season trade involving Jerome Ford. That's right. The rookie's already racked up 467 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground, plus some catches out of the backfield, and he's done it all in just 6 starts. Not too shabby for a second-rounder stepping into a crowded RB room. Judkins' emergence isn't just exciting for Browns fans, it's got the front office rethinking their depth chart. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Cleveland is open to moving Ford, their steady vet who's tallied over 1,400 career rushing yards and 12 total touchdowns. Fowler's not saying it's a done deal. He gave it about a 35% chance, but the idea is clearly on the radar, especially with the NFL trade deadline creeping up. Ford still brings value, no doubt. He's a proven commodity, especially in pass protection, which neither Judkins nor rookie Dylan Sampson, their 4th-round pick, has quite mastered yet. But let's be real. The Browns didn't invest high draft capital in two young backs just to let them chill on the bench long term. Now, teams like the Chargers, Patriots, and Texans have been floated as potential suitors for Ford. But here's the catch. The trade market for RBs hasn't exactly been buzzing. Unless a team gets desperate, the Browns might not get the kind of return they're hoping for, especially with Ford set to hit free agency this spring. So it comes down to a pretty straightforward question. Do the Browns hold on to Ford because he's reliable and helps in pass pro, or do they cash out now and ride with the youth movement? If a team offers something decent, Cleveland's got enough depth to weather it. If no one bites, well, Ford's still a solid piece to have for the playoff push. If the Browns really trust the future, it's time to prove it. Letting Shedeur sit and considering moving on from Ford? Bold moves. But hey, it's the NFL. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next in this Cleveland saga.